Howdy folks, my name is Darren from RC Scale Models, and today I'm back with you with another kit. And this one's from Takom. This is their 1/16 scale, which is their large scale stuff. It's 1.5 or 1.25 ton 4x4 G503 MB utility truck. Everyone knows it's going to be a Willys Jeep at the end of the day. It hasn't got that on the box because it's to do with licensing, but it's pretty damn cool. I think I do like large scale stuff, and this is my Willys Jeep. We're going to build this pretty soon. I have got a couple of projects in the works at the moment, but once they're out of the way I'll probably move on to this. So this is going to go well with my RC tanks and my RC half track, which I have shown on the channel, so if you wish to go back on them. This is not RC, this is just a standard model, but everything you see on the box art is what you're going to get. So you get your Willys Jeep, you get your figure, his plastic, you get the 50 cal detailed engine. So pretty cool. Some people said there's inaccuracies on the Jeep, but I keep saying that I think they're trying to mimic that it's a wartime one. Yes, this is a wartime one, but bear in mind this is late war, 1945s to 1950s. So there's going to be changes. I think it's quite accurate, but some people saying it's not. But I don't know. I'm not an expert on Jeeps, but we shall see. So what we get inside this box is a large box, as I say, 16 scale. There are the two options. You see this one here is in Germany, April 1945, so it's basically the end of the war, and this one here is Korea 1950. So I don't know, but that's the two options. This side, I don't know why they do that, they always get it upside down. This is all your sprues, so there's not a ton of parts, but it should be pretty damn good. You got your markings, tiny bit of fallow etch. There's a couple of straps for some reason, I'm not sure what they are, but that's pretty much it. This side of the box, that's the release of the kit. So it's, I know that might be the serial number actually, 0301 1016. So that might be the serial for the kit, or that could be it as well, number 1016. I'm not sure. So it's loaded with plastic. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sprues, including plastic, clear and marking. So we can take a closer look at this. So here's the paperwork. We've got our markings, fallow etch, decals in this bag as well, so be careful to get this out. One of the photo etch pieces has fallen out already. So here are those straps. I think it's to do with the hood or bonnet, I'm not sure. And then inside there are the other pieces, which is more straps. We'll take a closer look at those markings in a minute. So as for the worksheet, it is a side opening page booklet, so nice drawing on the front, information, a little bit of the vehicle, and then everything in the kit is tips and tricks of decals and filing, symbols, some of the paint call outs as you go along, and then you've got sprue map again, which is everything is on the box as well, the same. Good way of checking to make sure everything's there. I have checked this already. I have this kit for a couple of days now. So very first step, chassis, side rails, which is nicely done. We have bumpers, we have part of the axles and assembly. This looks like gearbox and stuff maybe. This all gets dropped in as standard. The rear bumper, front bumper. This is the gearbox and part of the drivetrain assembly. Pretty standard, nicely detailed. And more axles, and looks like parts of the brake assembly, and then that axle assembly goes in, more drivetrain. This arm here is for the steering arms. This is the steering arm as well. Step 4 is more of the steering mechanism and front parts. I'm not sure what most of these parts are actually called, but I know it's just a steering. I do know though, on the actual arms itself, the ends, there's like these round holes, and then you've got pins on these ends. They're saying if you heat up a screwdriver or something, flatten the top of it, and it allows to makes the steering workable. So that's an optional part. The pins are here, here, and here. This is what these flame marks symbols are making, so we can make the steering work. Next step is the detailed engine steps. So 2 halves, top and bottom, oil pan, I think that is. The rest of the engine detail looks pretty damn good to me. And you've got all the pipes and coolant, fan belt, fans, and then that's all detailed up. That can be dropped in. There'll be a lot of small assemblies in being built, and then you paint them, weather them, do whatever, and then put them into the vehicle. Once that's in, you've got your battery, side fenders. The battery is like 5 pieces. That's quite detailed in. Here is more lights and stuff. This is a little bit of plumbing. Here, this is your radiator system going in. This is part of your wheels. So you've got wheel hub and tyres separately. So that's pretty cool though, because you can paint the wheel and then just attach the paint the tyres, attach them, and then all you've got to do is sand out the seam and then just paint the centre bit. So saves up on masking. Attaching all 4 wheels. This is the radiator assembly, which is for that. That's quite detailed. That's for 4 parts. And now we have part of the floor pan. This is the driver's compartment. All the handbrake and gears lever. That gets dropped in on top of the chassis. You have to be careful with this arm sticking out, which is for the steering wheel. You've got to feed it through the hole, and a couple of pedals have got to be fed through. Exhaust as well being put in, and then this looks like the back of the bulkhead, and this is a couple of more engine detail parts. Again, I don't know what those parts are, what piece is. I'm not sure what that is. And then we have the front grille going in, which is built up here, and then the sides of the Jeep. Then we got your tools, so it'll be your spade and your axe, nicely done. And then we have seats, fuel tank, which is 2 halves. Seats are like in 3 parts, so you might want to paint the cushions separately to the framing, and then you can just glue it together. So having to mask up. Lights, down or up option, and that's assembly for the lights. So there's 3 pieces. Putting your dash in, and there's a couple of decals for the dials. Another seat, so you've got driver's and passenger seat going in. This is the hood or bonnet, wherever you are in the world, and the bench seat at the back, and a couple of details on the inside. Looks like a, don't know what that is, it could be a jack maybe stored inside the hood, I'm not sure. Windshield going together, that's not too bad. That could be dropped in. I don't know if you can have it down. I know you can have it obviously up, but I'm not sure if you can have it folded forward. I'm not sure about that. The back of the Jeep is where all the lights are. That's pretty basic. We have more side little cushion seats, a couple of details on the back, grab handles, and then this is an optional part, which is this piece on the front, which is like a cutter they made just with like angle iron. That's designed to cut through barbed wire. That's an optional part, you don't have to have it on. Your fuel tank and spare, again, you don't have to have them on, but they're there. This is to build up 50 caliber on the back of the Jeep. Again, it's optional, you don't have to have this. And then you've got your framing for folded and open options for the canopy. But sadly you don't get no canopy, so you're going to have to make your own canopy. But you do get the framing for it. I'll probably just have mine folded down and not worry about any canopy. I'm no good at making stuff like that, not with fabric anyway. Then you've got more spares. I think this might be the 50 caliber ammo box, another jerry can, or that could be the jerry can for the back, I'm not sure. And this is the assembly for your figure, your driver. So you've got your arms, the 2 halves, the hands, the torso, left and right arms. The head is separately, the back of the head You've got the helmet and the strap, it all comes together nicely. I have seen this figure built up and painted and stuff, and done correctly it can look really good. And then dropping your driver in and steering wheel, and that's a completed model. Obviously you paint as you go along. And then this step here is one of your, two paint options. So we have this one, first one here is 1945's Germany, so this is the one from the box art. This one over here is Korean, August 1950s. So those two are from the box art, and then you've got two other options here. We have another 3rd Army Division, Germany, April 1945, so that's a late war one again. And then we have another Korean one, 1950s. And this is all your colour callouts as they work your way around. Mostly going to be the olive drab colour. The detailed parts on the engine look all the same. The colour callouts on this one look pretty much all the same. So it's all pretty much olive drab. The only difference is the actual serial number and the stars are slightly different. And this one's got the circle part around it, and this is a basic star. Yellow writing, this has white writing. So yeah, nicely done. Just take a look at the plastic. Oh, just before I do that, I will show you the markings quickly before I end up forgetting. They look pretty good. Carrier film was quite large. They are on the flat side. And there's that big one that goes on the hood. You can have military police, US serial numbers, and then big star. There's those dials for your dash and stuff, and more plates. I'm hoping Quinta does a set, because Quinta have started moving into doing plaques and dials and stuff for vehicles. So I'm hoping they do a large 16 scale. As I say, I'm not going to plan on building this just yet. I've got a couple of projects in the works. So if they don't do it, then obviously I'll just use those decals. They'll be more than sufficient. As for the plastic parts now, I'm just going to work my way down. So this very first sprue here is the chassis and the floor pan and stuff. The dash, the back of the Jeep, pretty damn good. Can't see many ejector pins. Hopefully they're in places that they're not visible, so it doesn't require a lot of clean up. Yeah, so they're going to be on the bottom. These are on the inside, so they might need a little bit of clean up. There's a couple of ejector pins inside this rail, but I know this fits inside this, so they might be not visible. This is the back of the dash, so that's going to need some clean up, because if you have the hood open, you may end up seeing those. This is behind the dash as well, so you might not see that. Just check all your stuff. The frame of the chassis looks pretty damn straight to me. It hasn't warped out. If you're going to plan on getting this kit, you probably want to get it as soon as possible, before they get knocked about and put out of shape slightly. But that looks pretty damn good. The leaf springs are moulded in. Looks pretty sharp and crisp. If you are planning on getting the 1/16 scale Sherman and stuff, the Andy headquarters one, this will go perfect with that as well, which I am planning to get, and as soon as I get it I will do a review, even though Andy's already done one. I'll do my own. The dash looks pretty good, part of the firewall. Here's that floor pan, moulded in one big large piece, pretty good. The back of it, you're going to have to paint up your lights with some clear or whatever. That's not too problem. As I say, the ejector pins are all hopefully in places that are not too bad. Some of them will need cleaning. That's pretty good. This next sprue is tools, framing for your tarp and canopy if you're having it on. So this is the framing for that and that. Here's your axe and your spade. Not sure what these panels are for, can't remember seeing them. This is probably for internals. This is a structural part for the chassis. I remember seeing that, but that's not too bad. Nicely done. So here are those tools. Detail parts. Nicely done. This large piece is all to do with the outside now, so we have the sides of the Jeep, the grille, not sure what that is. You've got your seats assembly, side rails, fenders, the hood and bonnet. This is fenders as well, these sit on inside these. This is where your windshield will sit. So nicely done. I'm not sure what they are. If those are ejector pins on the seat, that's a bit of a bummer. I'm not sure what those holes are for. There's your front grille. Again, that piece I'm not sure. This is where your windshield will go. Now these are the sides of the Jeep. Nicely done. Inside the fenders. And that's the other side. This side of the inside of the Jeep. So a couple of ejector pins here, here, here and here you're going to have to take care of. There's no ejector pins inside the hood though. Yes there is, sorry. One here, here, here and here. They have to be taken care of if you're having it open. Here's the outside. Pretty damn good. This is another part attaches to the hood. These two go together. These are the fenders. They look pretty good. So this sprue here is all your figure parts. So it's pretty good for plastic. I'm not a figure painter. I'll probably try and paint him, but it probably won't come out any good. I'd end up spraying everything, but we shall see. So here's the back, the front torso part, one of his arms. There's the wartime helmet. Back of his head, he's a baldy. Here's his face. Without any painting it, without any painted eyes, it does look creepy. You've got his feet, and they do have. Do they have any pattern on there? No, they're just smooth. We have a couple of hands. We have his boots, and the rest of his arms, and his legs. So yeah, nicely done. That's pretty cool. It is quite hollow, so it is just basically two halves for everything. So that's not too bad. So here are accessories basically. So we have our fuel tank, or jerry can I should say, so even jerry can, your 50 caliber ammo boxes, your 50 calibers itself, and the actual gun part, breech or whatever, or the gun. This is part of the mount assembly. Here's part of the stand for the 50 caliber. The 50 caliber is slide molded, so is the stand. There is upgrades out there. I have seen metal barrels and stuff, so it's your option again there how far you want to go with this, but it looks pretty good for plastic. Again, you don't have to add all these accessories. You don't have to add them to the vehicle. It all depends how clean you and how you want to do it. I might just add everything anyway, because I think a lot of stuff you have add to the kit, I think it can look better. And this sprue here again is more detail parts. We have another fuel tank, the part of the spare wheel, this, and all of these sections are the creases in them for the fabric, which is pretty good for the cushions and backrests and stuff. They look pretty good for cushions. Then we have part of this back seat, This is your fuel tank assembly. Here is your steering wheel. Is that a tiny bit of flash I see there? Not sure. Here is your fuel tank. This is a foot pump and a crowbar type tool. So yeah, this is that angle iron piece that they make out of scrap material and they use for cutting through barbed wire. Again, that's optional, don't have to have it. Ejector pins all on the bottom side, so how much of your seat going to seal this I'm not sure. You may need to clean up some of these, shouldn't be too much of a problem. But yeah, it looks damn good. So here are two sprues the same. This is all your wheels and tyres and hubs and parts of your brake and stuff. So some of these you're going to need all of them and some parts you won't, so you're going to cut a couple of spares. And some people, as I've mentioned before, complaining about these wheels being the wrong shape or whatever. I don't know, I'm not an expert on the Jeep, so I couldn't say. So all down the bottom you have all these small detail parts, latches for your hood, grab handles. They're not slide moulded, but they are moulded in a certain way. They are a little bit of burring on there, so that needs a bit of clean up. Some springs, top of another ammo box, another handle for fuel tank. These are like part of your brake assembly. I'm not sure what that is. These are your tyres. Are moulded all in two halves, so they're just going to be put together. So like I say, you can paint these and paint the wheels separately and then just put it all together, and then once it's glued and cleaned up you just need to paint the centre part. So I think that'd be a lot easier. As of this video, there is no aftermarket out there, so I don't know. Here we have another sprue which has more detailed parts on it. This is all your fire extinguisher, headlights, more brackets, levers for handbrake and steering, gear changes and stuff. This looks like part of the assembly for where the spare wheel goes, framing for your light guards, and more latches and stuff. So these are just small general detail parts. So that's not too bad. And I think there's only a couple of sprues left. So this sprue here, we have all the axle parts, radiator, drivetrain, steering parts, exhaust. So these are your axle parts. This is part of your steering axle thingy, drivetrain, I'm not sure what you call that. Exhaust parts, oh sorry, the exhaust is here. This is your radiator assembly. This is the top of the radiator. More detailed parts. This is your top of the battery box. There's the sides, and then steering parts at the top as well. So these are probably kind of slide moulded, probably coming downwards. I'm not sure. It looks pretty good. It is going to take some wiring on the engine though, a little bit as well for the battery box and what's the part where the spark plugs are? The distributor cap, is it? I think they call it. I'm not sure. They're going to need some wiring as well. This is the last sprue, and then the last sprue after this is the clear parts, which is just a windshield and a couple of lights. So this is mainly detail parts again, engine block, fans, plumbing. Obviously you're going to have to add a little bit more. So this is part of the engine block, top and bottom. Not sure what this is. This is probably to the drivetrain axle, maybe, I'm not sure. This looks like the oil pan. This is some piping. Here is your fan. This is more plumbing. I'm not sure what these parts remember. All this, can't remember what that is. Any of this is probably just all detail parts for the engine and stuff. There's that slide moulded parts maybe. I think that's the distributor cap I mentioned before. It needs some wiring attached to it. But yeah, it looks pretty good. Here, all those parts. Top of your engine block, the size of the engine block. There is a little bit of writing there. It has the serial numbers on the engine block. Pretty cool. So yeah, that is Sprue H. The last sprue is just clear parts, which is here. Quickly get this out of the bag. So here are the clear parts. You have noticed, you see these marks, they're not scratches, but I have got some webbing. And what that is where the mould has come together. They've injected the mould from left and right, and as it's met, it's cooled quickly, and it's made those like webbing effect over the glass, which is a bit of a shame. So there's more detailed parts on the lights, but again, for the clear parts, that's a shame. So there you are, my friends, another kit from Takom, 1/16 scale, Willys Jeep. Pretty damn good kit, looks pretty accurate to me. There is some differences that some people complain about, but as I say, I'm not an expert, so I couldn't tell you. But yeah, looks pretty good kit to me. If you like 1/16 scale large stuff, then this is perfect for that. As I say, if you get plan on getting Andy's tanks, his Sherman, this is going to go perfect with that as well. So yeah. Plus, I did notice on the boxes done by T-Rex decals, which is pretty good known manufacturer for decals, especially out of China. They do pretty good decals. So yeah, if you like this, like, comment, subscribe. Catch you later.